you see the initial outlay of costs, but over time you'll reap that back purely because of, like, say, man hours, shorter downtimes, better accuracy on parts as well. You're looking at some of the parts we've designed fixtures for, they're very high accuracy, and there's only a certain number of companies in the world that can do that type of thing.
How do you design a fixture for a part that doesn't even exist yet? So, Dan, what goes into the process?
So initially you get an inquiry from the customer, and if the part's never physically existed yet, we'll gather as much data as we can, both from the engineers, from design, so we'll have CAD models, drawings if they're available, and essentially we'll roll from there. It'll be a back and forth between us and the customer to get to that point.
So, why is there a customer need for a bespoke and manufactured fixture?
Well, customers have different needs. So one customer might be automating their machinery, others might be manual loading, and so it's basically to be more focused on what the customer requires.
Now, we all know there's a bit of a skill gap shortage at the moment, so a lot of companies have sort of gone down the road of automation. So how can a bespoke fixture help? And in some cases, why is a bespoke fixture needed for automation?
Well, what we've found is for automation purposes, you need specific locations, specific points for the robot to lift. So we found in the past, we can then design that into our fixturing, so it's just for automation.
So at SMW-AUTOBLok, you are essentially a service provider. So what does that mean?
So essentially we'll go in and we'll talk to multiple levels of the customer. So we'll talk to the manufacturing engineer, we'll also talk to people on the shop floor who are actually going to be physically using the solution. So we can get pretty much hands-on sort of experience of what they want, how they're going to use it. So like I say, we're not selling a, there you go, there's your fixture. We're selling a, there's your fixture, but also this is how we've been in contact with you and this is how you suggested we need to use it.
So you're not essentially selling a fixture, you're selling a solution.
Yes, yeah.
But what I really like is that you actually go all the way down to the guy who's actually going to be using that fixture to get his opinion. And obviously, we all know the guy who runs the machine will have how he likes it. He'll have his little preferences on where things go. So it's great that you even take him into consideration.
Well, it's important because if you don't, and they've never seen the concept or design before, it could just be a headache for everyone else because they might have something they have in mind, but speaking to them, you can implement that and you can improve all the way along the process.
So how can having a bespoke fixture make companies more productive?
Well, for example, if a company's using a two-stage machining operation, there's potential we can bring it down to one stage. We could also use more effective clamping methods, so you can bring your feeds and speeds up, reducing cycle times. It's more, we look into more sort of bespoke features like that.
So essentially, you can actually up your spindle time as well, because your machine never stops.
Yeah, you got no downtime. Well, you've limited downtime.
Which really then must help for a cost saving as well, because obviously we all know whenever your spindle's not running, it's costing you money.
Yes.
So people want their spindles running as much as possible because then they're making money. So it's great to know that having a fixture which works right and not a fixture that somebody's knife and forking the way through, which some people are at the moment. So it's nice to know that Telbrook are here to help and to serve people.
Yes.
If you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's I think a lot more people need to know about bespoke fixtures and the advantages of having them.
Yeah, precisely. And you see the initial outlay of costs, but over time you'll reap that back purely because of, like, say, man hours, shorter downtimes, better accuracy on parts as well. You're looking at some of the parts we've designed fixtures for, they're very high accuracy, and there's only a certain number of companies in the world that can do that type of thing.